Hi everybody, this is Andrew here for Tutorial Soup. In the last tutorial we had a scoring system that would count up depending on the distance you get through the asteroid field. Now I want to create a way of saving this score so that we can keep track of your high score, and so you can better your if you get a high score you can better it or try and better it with your next go, because at the moment if you go back to the menu or reset, it just goes back to 0 and there's no saving at the moment of the high score. Now we're going to use something called local storage. It actually saves the local variable within the browser, so that each time you load up the game you can load back those variables and use them in your game to save certain elements or scores. So we're going to start off by creating a paragraph element, and we're going to call it high score text, and this is going to have the value of high score. Now within here we want to put a span tag with an ID of HS. Now this is going to be the actual high score value, and we're going to set that to 0. Now if I save this, nothing's going to show up, and I don't know why it's doing that. I think what I need to do is position it onto the canvas. So we are going to say hi, we're going to reference the tag with a selector, so high score text even, position salute. Now hopefully, there we go, it's now on the canvas, but we just need to change its color, because at the moment it's black. So I'm going to give it the hexadecimal value of white. There we go. Now I want to position this further down the screen, so we're going to say 230 pixels from the top, and say 20 pixels in from the left. I'm also going to change the font family to bird like we used before. Now if I refresh, that looks good. I just need to now reference the individual HS selector, which is going to hold the value of our score. I don't need to position the element because it's already inherited that from its from the paragraph tag. But what I am going to do is change the padding left to 10 pixels. So now there should be a gap. There you go. A gap between the value of the high score and the actual high score text, and that's what we want. So if we now jump into our JavaScript, move this over a bit. Oh, we can get rid of this as well now. We don't need to keep track of our high score. That was just so that our score would show up in the JavaScript console, but we don't need to do that anymore, so you can get rid of that little thing. What we need to do is high ST, we'll just call that, abbreviate that to high ST for the high score text. Reference the high score. I can't spell. High score text tag. I'm going to create another one for. High score. And that's going to reference the value, which is the HS tag or element. So I'm just going to test that these are working. So I'm just going to on the init just to see that they both work, and they do. But we don't want that to happen there. We want to show them on the start screen. Right. So we want these to only show up on the actual start screen. So we don't want the high score to show when we're actually playing the game. So if I find where the buttons are, so I want the start button, don't I? Did I just go past it? Maybe I'm stupid. There it is. Get rid of this gap here. Right. So high st dot hide and high score dot hide. So now when I press the start button, it should get rid of them, and it does. Now when we click on the menu button, we want to show the high score again, so I'm going to say high score dot show and high st dot show. I'm going to put that in the menu button click function. So there's high score goes, and when you press the menu button it's back. So what we want to do, we need to save the score whenever the ship hits an asteroid, or whenever the player goes below the screen or the canvas. So if we come down to here, so this is the collision detection for when the ship hits an asteroid. So what we need to do is we need to access the local storage, and we simply do that by typing local storage dot set item. We're going to make a key, and that's going to be L score. So in order to access the variable in local storage, we're going to use this key here, and the value is going to be C score, which I believe is the score variable we use. Yeah. So this is going to effectively save our value, our score, into local storage, and the key to accessing that variable is L score. What we also need to do is set the inner HTML of the high score element and set that to local storage dot get item, and you're going to say get item using the key. Now what this should do is set the local storage each time the asteroid is hit, and it will set the score and save it into local storage. And what we do each time, because we want to display the score on the main page, we set the high score inner HTML to the local storage item using the get item function, and as an argument we put in the key to the variable here. I hope that makes sense. So this, what I want to do is I want to copy this and also put it here. This is where the ship goes off the canvas, so if it falls below the canvas it's game over, and we also want the score to save there. So if I save it there as well, if I refresh, yeah, that didn't kind of work too well, but I think what I didn't do is I didn't put the comma here in the argument to separate the value, the value and the key. So I need to put that there, and hopefully there we go. So now if I press start, score counts up, increments. I go back to the menu, there you go, it saves the score into the variable and shows it on the start screen. Now at the moment if I refresh, it doesn't actually show the high score. The actual high score is still saved in local storage, but it's not displaying it when we initiate. So we just want to go into the init function. So in here we want to type in high score dot HTML and local storage dot get item. Why do I keep doing that? Get item L score. Yeah, that should work. Now if we refresh again, there you go, and it shows us our current high score. Yeah, so that actually, to be more accurate, it just shows our score, the last score we've got, because at the moment if we go back to the menu it will display 8, but if I just get 2 or 3, and it'll also save it. At the moment what it's doing is it's just saving the last score to the local variable, which is then being shown on the start screen. What we want to do is we want to create an if statement so that it only changes this high score if the current score is higher than what's already in storage. So to do that we can, so I'm going to create an if statement here, and I'm going to put these inside. So we want to say if score, or if C score is more than local storage. Let me spell that right. God, my spelling's terrible today. So if the current score is more than the local storage score, so if the current score is more than the score that's already saved in local storage, then we want to save the score to it. So if I put the same if statement down here, the best thing to do, I've said it before, it would have been better for me to create just an end game function. Then I could have put this just in one function, rather than having to. Basically, I've just copied this. I'm writing this twice, and it's not a good program to write the same code twice. You should just have one function and have the code in there once, because at the moment I have to paste it in both of these when the player hits the asteroid and the player falls below the screen. What I could have done is just had another function, call it endgame, and then just include the function name in here, and that would have been a lot easier to do. But nevertheless, I'm going to see if this works quickly. Hopefully it should. So my high score is 4. If I just let it go below the screen now, it still saves. It doesn't save anything that's lower than the score. If I get 6, it will change it to 6. But if I get 3, it doesn't change it. It still stays on the higher score, and that should do the same if I hit the asteroid. So if I get 8, it will change it to 8. But if I hit the asteroid and it's 5, it will still stay at 8. Right, so that's it for this tutorial. In the next tutorial, I'm gonna change a few things. I'm gonna possibly also create some better looking asteroids, because at the moment I don't like the way the asteroids are looking, and I want to create a little bit more movement with the asteroids. And what I was thinking of doing was making the asteroids rotate around so they look better. And so I'm gonna do that at some point. So I hope this tutorial wasn't too much of a muddle, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you very much.